Right. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining tonight's class, which is Meditations on Love. Now, this class is going to be about 30 minutes of recording. And I was debating before we started whether to just record a small bit of it. But life tends to make us want to consume things in smaller and smaller amounts. And that's just an aspect of a busy mind. That's just we get busier and busier minds from social media and work and emails and things like that just get busier and busier and busier and busier. I suspect if anybody was able to be transported from 1800 or even 1900 and let's go further, 1990, and saw just how much we consume and process and spit out and read in small amounts, the minds will probably be boggled. And this has only been going for 20 years or so. Absolutely mind-boggling. And probably since smartphones, 12 years ago, roughly, the amount of information we consume in small amounts. So sod it, I'm not going to pander to that state of mind. I'm going to pander to the mind that wants to relax and consume over a bit of a longer period of time, be a little bit more 1980s, 1880s, 1780s. Relax a bit. Because in all of that, love hasn't changed. And love hasn't changed in all of those periods of time. It's still the same. It's still here, and it's here to make us peaceful and nourish us and nourish relationships. So what is love? Let's start by saying what love isn't. So love isn't wanting you to make me happy, wanting someone else to make me happy. That's not love. That's the opposite of love. Love is, I want you to be happy. As soon as we go down the other route, I want you to make me happy. That's attachment. That's fraught with danger. I want you to make me happy. 1 million love songs were written about that. You can take that. Far less love songs written about wanting others to be happy. So we have to be a little bit careful. A lot of the pop songs and things like that are actually talking about desirous attachment, craving. I want you to make me happy. But what's wrong with wanting you to make me happy, or someone else, or this thing or that thing to make me happy? Well, we've got no control over them. We've got no control over them whatsoever. No control over them whatsoever. And then when they don't perform the function we think they should, we get angry and we want to be separate from them. So love doesn't play that gambit. Love doesn't have that precarious nature to it. Love is, I want you to be happy. And if something happens in the relationship, I still want you to be happy. And if we can't be in the same space because you're exhibiting signs of dysfunction or unhealthiness or whatever it might be, or you've left me, gone to another country, whatever it might be, I just want you to be happy. Seems quite short and reasonable, doesn't it? I want you to be happy. So this is a wish. I want you to be happy. We may have had people say that to us. We may have had family. I just want you to be happy. Now, they might not be filled with unconditional love all the time because, our friends and family are siblings. They're human. But in that moment, if they're saying to us words to the effect, I just want you to be happy, they're expressing pure love. So we have to be careful whether we want people to be in our image, particularly our children. Do we want our children to be in our image? Are we only kind to them if they're being the way we would be and the way we want things done and the things we believe, the order we would do things in, and interact with the world the way we would interact with the world? Because that's attachment. That's attachment to having mini me's. And we all do it. We can all do it as parents. Want mini me's. That's not love. Love is celebrating the differences and accepting the differences. Same with parents, same with friends, same with enemies. We don't have to, strong word enemy, isn't it? I mean, in a Buddhist sense, you know, if we've got anger towards someone, they're effectively our enemy in that moment. We want to be separate from them or harm them. And we can remove that. So the opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is desirous attachment, craving. And loving others brings us happiness. When we haven't got love inside of us, we've got craving inside of us, rather than turn to a mind of love, we turn to an object of cake or an object of social media or chatting or films or exercise or, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll. Our mind doesn't naturally say, we're unhappy, practice love. It doesn't do that because it feels like the things that are external are giving a hit of happiness, like giving us a hit of happiness. They're not. What they're doing is they're just temporarily reducing our craving, and that feels nice, but it's still craving, it's just less. Whereas feeling love brings us the happiness that we want. It brings us the peace that we yearn for. And what we're doing is we're not trusting our mind. Our mind says, you're unhappy, buy some more clothes, get a better car, buy a bigger house, have more friends, go out to better parties, fill the garden up with a load of plastic crap, whatever it might be, whatever it might be. Our mind, we can't trust that mind. It hasn't delivered so far, otherwise we wouldn't be doing this. We can't trust our mind. We can trust love. And we can test that. We can test whether love delivers. We can test in with any meditation object, whether it's reliable. Reliable means if we turn to it, it does what we believe it to do, what it did last time. Something's reliable, it will always do the same. Fire is reliable, it will always burn us if we put our hand in there. The sky's always blue and above the clouds. Now, we won't do this. We'll practice meditation on love for a little bit and then we'll fall off the log, as it were. We'll fall off. And it'll take us either a second, a minute, an hour, a day, a month, a year to go back to meditating on love. And meditating on love doesn't have to be formal. It can be walking around thinking a little mantra. I wish for you to be happy. We can do it down the shops. Whatever we walk past down the street, we can be thinking, I want you to be happy. I want you to be happy. You can do it at work. Somebody who comes into your clinic or your shop or your office space, whatever it might be, or onto your Zoom meeting. Just want you to be happy. Wish for you to be happy. You don't have to do that for very long. A few minutes, 5, 10, 15 minutes. It starts to change our mind. It starts to change our environment because we see the world through the filter of our own mind. So these meditations can change our world. And we are going to forget. We are going to fall off the log. And that's where teachers come in and remind us, you know, to classes like this and other ones, help us to start again. We don't need to worry that we're going to run out of love. It's impossible. We can't run out of love. Love is in endless supply within us. Now, we don't relate to ourselves as an endless supply of love, do we? If somebody says, so what are your qualities? I'm on time most of the time. or I get most of my work done by the end of the day, or I dust my house once a week, whether it needs it or not. I can change the oil in an engine. We don't say I'm an endless. I mean, I'm not suggesting you say it. We sound like nutters, but inside we can be thinking I'm an endless fountain of love. That's what we are. Can't run dry. All that happens if we practice meditating on love is we get more and more feeling of love. It's not like running a marathon where our legs get more and more and more tired. We don't exhaust that supply. And neither does anybody else. So other people also an endless supply of love. It's just not being tapped into. It's not coming out. So in India, they do namaste, don't they? They put their hands together, namaste, and there's all sorts of different definitions for that. But essentially what they're saying is that, the inexhaustible loving me pays respects to and recognizes the inexhaustible loving you. It's one way to see that. Namaste. How nice if men in England did that every time they shook hands instead of trying to rip each other's hands off with like firm handshakes. I would suggest you have to do that with a wet lettuce handshake, but be very different. Maybe some do. Right, I'm going to do a body relaxation and breathing meditation. I'm going to combine some meditation on love with it so that we can love our mind and love our body. So get yourself settled, get yourself into a nice position. So straight away we can start to relate to ourselves and picture ourselves as this inexhaustible fountain of love, of wishing others to be happy and wishing ourselves to be happy. There's nothing wrong at all in wishing for ourselves to be happy. There is if we're doing it at the expense of someone else, but we're not doing that. We're including ourselves. May I be happy, may everyone be happy. So I'd like to just sit for a few moments and relate to yourself. This is not a creative process. This is not a lie. It's not fake it to make it. It's the truth. We're going to sit with reality. We're an inexhaustible fountain of love. Now, there may be resistance to this because we may have some self-loathing, some self-criticism, some judgment, some guilt. That's okay. If we feel that, then the love will burn that away. It will melt it away eventually. Because those things are not true. Okay, so you inexhaustible fountain of love. Bring your awareness to the room. Become aware of the body, the container of all this love. This body that is the container of all of this infinite love. Now we bring our awareness to our thoughts. Accepting the thoughts as they come and as they go with love. Doesn't matter what thought comes up, we're going to meet it with love. We're going to accept it just as it is, not buy into it, not try to cast it away, but let it just melt away. One thought after the other, met with love, acceptance, and wonder. Amazing that there are thoughts going on. Take it for granted that there are thoughts arising. It's a miracle, really. Whatever they are, we meet them as they are. A screaming baby is a miracle, and a screaming thought is also born and is a miracle. Now we bring our awareness into our body. We notice what feelings are here. And just like we have love towards others, we can have love towards our feelings, no matter what they are. Accepting them. This is a practice. This is not easy. But no matter what feeling we have that's unpleasant, it doesn't last. It's not an inexhaustible supply. So there's always more love for these feelings than there are the feelings themselves. We have far more capacity to love our anger and accept it than the anger itself. Doesn't mean we pander to the anger, but we embrace it like everything else. Acceptance is another expression of love, accepting things as they are. If people accept us as we are, we know that's love. We accept our feelings as they are, that's love. Purest form of self-love, accepting our feelings. If your mind wanders away, come back to loving whatever's inside of you. Anxiety, stress, worry, fear, loneliness, joy, happiness. Love meets things equally. So we've met with body and thoughts and feelings in a loving way. Now we're going to practice loving our body by relaxing it, letting go of tension. So this intention to be gentle and kind and loving to our body. Bring your awareness to your face. Let those jaw muscles relax. Let the tension go. There's no need to be on high alert. You can just rest. Rest deeply. Now rest the rest of your muscles, relax them off, the brow, the cheeks, the lips, space between the eyebrows. Bringing our awareness now to our left shoulder and scanning all the way down the arm. Our left arm is so precious, if we lost it in an accident, we'd be traumatized. Bring all of your love to your left arm, your left hand and fingers. Relax them off. Feel happy that they're here. Same now from the right shoulder all the way down. And now from the left hip, bring your awareness to the left hip. Scan with your mind down your left leg, being kind to it, relaxing off any tension that may have developed during the day. The same from the right side. Gentle, kind, loving attention to the right leg, relaxing it off. Now bring the awareness back up to the shoulders and the neck, imagining that any tension just melts away in the shoulders and the neck. Allow them to feel loved. Allow your shoulders and your neck to feel loved. Now we picture black smoke swirling around the side of our body cavity. And bound up in this black smoke is the deception in our mind that tells us to go outwards for happiness, for peace. This deceptive, craving mind, confused mind. And with 3 nice, steady out breaths, visualize the black smoke and this confused state of mind to dissipate into the distance. 3 nice, steady, deep out breaths. We're sending it on its way with love because It's trying to protect us, and going outwards into the external world looking for happiness, it's trying to bring it, it's trying to take care of us, but it's confused. Now imagine that all of your tendency to look outwards for happiness, the source of happiness, has gone, and that we recognize lucidly, clearly, completely that love brings peace, that love brings happiness. And when we have love, we enjoy things all the more externally anyway. But if they go wrong, they don't disturb us. If they stop, go away, break, they don't disturb us. Because the source of our peace is within. Now, as you breathe in, imagine sparkling golden light coming in through your nostrils. And filling up your body and your mind. Sparkling light that has within it deep acceptance of you, of all of you, and all you've ever been and all you ever will be, and all you are now. Imagine that's mixed with this beautiful sparkling golden light. The deepest love you can imagine, the biggest love you can imagine. As you breathe in sparkling golden light, let this pervade your body and your mind. With the last few golden lighting breaths, imagine your whole body and mind are filled with love. And your heart opens, your head feels lighter and clearer. And it's just your own nature being here. It's your own nature being here. The love you have for your children, the love you have for your siblings and your friends, your pets, your favorite cousins, and all the rest of it. It's your nature. It just gets covered over. It doesn't go away. Now what I'd like you to do is to visualize yourself in front of you. Visualize an image of you in front of you and think, I want you to be happy. I want you to be happy. How wonderful if you're happy. Phrase that works for you. I wish for you to be happy. All I want is for you to be happy. And then allow this thought to repeat, and imagine love comes from your heart to this version of you in front of you, to their heart. Like a gold light comes from your heart to their heart. It doesn't have to be an accurate version of you, it can be a meaningful sort of general image. Just imagine this love flows from you to them. And now imagine people who you love around this version of you. People it's really easy for you to love, your children, your parents, your best friend, your pet, guinea pig you had when you were 10, whatever it may be. That teacher that believed in you at school. Bring them into the image and allow this golden light to come from your heart to theirs and wish them happiness. Gently repeat them. I wish for you to be happy. I want you to be happy. All I want is for you to be happy. Don't forget you're included in this as an image of you and them. And now just gently let that image go and allow whatever feeling of love you have in your heart to be the object of your meditation, which means it's the place we come back to if our mind wanders. Allow your mind to marinate with this feeling, however small or large an amount. Just watch it like a fisherman would watch a float. Imagine it spreads out all across your body, outside of your body, across the whole universe. You have enough love to fill the universe because it's inexhaustible. Imagine the whole universe, every planet, every living being is held in this love. Don't be afraid to open your heart more. A lot more. Just rest with the feeling. Doesn't matter if it's a small amount or large, just rest now. Your mind wanders away, come back to it, but let it be like the bed you're resting in your mind. And we can make a little determination now to allow this love to permeate our home for the rest of the day until it fades, until something angers us, which will make it go away. We can always come back to it. Just enjoy it. So the next person you see, allow them to feel your love. Thank you for joining in with tonight's class. I hope you've really enjoyed it. We'll be doing more of this through April. And this can be combined with a practice of healing, so we can go into the light and we can go into the dark, and we can look after ourselves in that process of purifying our mind. Okay, thank you for joining in.